So today, we'd like to conduct a forum discussion based on the case in Malaysia regarding the rise of LGBTQ community in today's society. So generally, the initialism of LGBTQ stands emphasize on the diversity and difference between the sexual orientation and gender identity-based culture. So in Malaysia, the LGBTQ people actually face more obstacles and challenges if we compare them to those straight people. According to our Minister of Tourism, Datuk Muhammadin Ketapi, he said that in Malaysia we don't have anything like LGBTQ people. It's like he completely wiped out their existence. So, however, a survey conducted in 2016 actually suggested that about 33% of the respondents actually know somebody among them. Some of their friends is actually it's actually came from LGBTQ community. So there's a demand to end the discrimination based on the sexual orientation and the gender. So Kosheilasri, do you have any opinion regarding this issue?
Yes, I truly do. According to my readings, I saw that Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, our current Prime Minister, he gave a statement saying that Malaysia, we do not force Malaysia to accept this inverted ideology, saying that regarding this LGBT community. And he also added his statement by saying that because they do not support, because these people, this community, they cannot produce offspring, which is the main reason why somebody get married actually. But I personally believe that we do not have to get married to get a child, you know. So for me, I think that a child you can easily get it because currently there's been many child has been thrown away, abandoned and stuff. So maybe you can easily just adopt kids from the home and make them as their own kids and have a happy living. Because at the end of the day, I believe it's only happiness that matters, right? Yeah. So Yi Lin, do you know anything about these activities or campaigns that's been held?
Actually, in Malaysia, during the last International Women's Day, there's a march organized by a women's society together with the LGBTQ community. The main objective or purpose they organize this activity or march is actually they want to fight for the gender equality, as well as they want the community to treat the LGBTQ people equally, just like any other people existed in the world. So
I heard that the walk was quite a
it's in Kuala Lumpur City, and then they actually bring up this issue which is in Klang. There's a transgender woman actually being murdered just because like she's been assaulted by a group of youth. It's like she has multiple injuries and brain concussion, and the police believe that this is purely a hate crime because if it's a lady or a guy walking on the street, we won't easily go and assault.
Right. So probably they actually know that this people she's a transgender, she's a lesbian, stuff.
So actually, for me as a human being, we are all born equally, and we are equal in dignity and also our rights. So, but then I also realized in Malaysia there are still some majority of the community that actually feel phobia and they're scared about the existence of the LGBTQ community.
Because it's something new that they cannot accept, right? Things like that happen.
So actually in Islam, it's clearly stated that as a Muslim, we are prohibited to accept the homosexuality or
it's prohibited.
Or being in the homosexuality or being a transgender is considered is a sin in Islam. So this goes against centuries of religious teaching. We cannot easily change what we have been taught by our religion.
Because that is stated in your Quran.
It's stated in the Holy Quran. In the Quran, they state that there is a story about the Lot and the Sodom people, which are punished and in a destruction because they practice homosexual. So the Quran also stated like any other sins, when men having sex with each other, they should be punished. But it doesn't say how. It also adds that when they repent, they should be left alone. Apart from that, I also believe that other religions also have prohibit this kind of ideology, which is Christianity. In the Christianity, there are there are division, right? Like Catholic, Protestant, and Orthodox. All these division are also actually prohibit the homosexuality and being a transgender. So since a Muslim and Christian are together, are a big part of Malaysia, it has a large influence to our politics and our sociality norm.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So we can see even in the Western country, they are more liberal than this Malaysia. We are more conservative and more religious based country. And even in the Western, they also have many cases that related to LGBT harassment. So it's actually hard to imagine for LGBTQ community to get so much freedom in Malaysia.
True. Very true. So I actually had this reading from Kosheilasri saying that on 7th of November, these few men who were sentenced by the Selangor Sharia High Court because they were attempting to do sexual intercourse. So what happened was they were fined by 4,800 ringgit, 6 strokes of canes, and imprisonment. So for a mistaken amount of imprisonment. So things like this, right? I personally believe that I don't think these people who attempting sexual intercourse because they are gays or lesbians, because they are something different, right? Because if a person, okay, if another teen were to have sex, I mean, it's a normal thing, but if it's the same gender, it's a big thing, and then they get punished and all this stuff. But I believe there's so many rapists out there who has not been caught, but they just left alone. But these people who are innocent, who do not harm anyone else, attempt to do, and they get caught. So I think that the government should actually focus more on eradicating cases which causing harm to the public, in which it would endanger themselves, like what happened to Priyanka Reddy in India. She was raped and she was burnt alive. So instead of focusing on things like that and catching innocent people who are actually attempting to do what they want to do, I think it's a bit foolish in my perception. So Taufiq, any points?
I also personally think that the best way to approach this community is by giving them proper guidance instead of just punish them using weapons. Caning,
Like in Brunei, right? They had to they stoned to death, right?
Based on Sharia law.
I am not sure. Is it?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. But that's a bit scary if you were to implement it in Malaysia, right?
According to Dr. Muhammad Izwan Mat Yusof, he said that Jakim is committed to help the LGBT community, specifically for those who are Muslims, because only those Muslims are prohibited, right?
Yeah, true.
They provide some camps and seminars to help them to reform again. So this is one of the initiatives that the government has to approach the LGBT community. I believe that with the proper guidance and community, with the proper guidance, this community can be changed and be reformed again. In my opinion, why the government created such law and punishment for LGBT activity is that in Malaysia consists of 61.3% of Muslim and 9.2% of Christian, where both of these religions are actually prohibit their followers to involve in LGBT activity.
I think some of the majority of community, the society, they still have some misunderstanding that they thought that the Jakim will come and they will come and punish all those LGBTQ people even though you are not Muslim. But then I think Jakim only committed to those Muslim LGBTQ community, right?
But at least they're providing something, right? Instead of punishing them and stuff, do something nice, right? Humanity involved.
So I actually curious, how about other countries? How they treated this
LGBTQ community?
How they treat them?
I will just take an example like our neighboring country. For Thailand is actually ranked at the top 10 most LGBTQ friendly country among the world. But then in Malaysia, it's like, although we are just neighboring countries, Malaysia is ranked at if I'm not mistaken, it's the top 5 most dangerous country for any LGBTQ community to travel or to visit. The result is actually not very surprising. For my own opinion, Malaysia is still quite conservative, and because our culture is strongly religion based, so the same-sex sexual activity is punishable up to 20 years, and LGBTQ groups are sometimes targeted by religious authorities, but this is mostly for the Muslim LGBTQ community. I personally feel bad for the LGBTQ community who are being mistreated, because some of them are actually being discriminated during their workplace or in schools.
Me as a Muslim also, to be honest, I will never agree of this idea of the LGBT. But however, Islam also teach us to not discriminate or judge anybody despite of their religion, their sins, how their sins, including the LGBT community. So many people nowadays, they like to play God and punish others easily. As a human, I personally think that they have their right also. As a human, they have their right. We should not treat them as if they can even feel any sadness, anything. What happened in Malaysia is very disappointing. We can see that LGBTQ society are still living in fear and often hiding this day.
Some of them are just posting unrelated comments online to bash all the LGBTQ community. It's quite sad actually.
Sometimes they just get harassed and stuff, but it can happen vice versa also, right? Because there are few cases of LGBT harassing
straight people.
But it's sad lah, because if you see, right, none of these LGBT people want to be born this way. They
choose to be this way.
So some people, they are born in a family, good family, great friends, but it's just them not being themselves. So I feel like when we implement violence, right, like how some countries actually do, thank God Malaysia doesn't do that. So there's some countries that stoning to death and stuff. I mean, probably it's their way of dealing it, but I think implementing violence only just going to bring unwanted
more harms, right?
More harms and unwanted attention from different countries and stuff. Because first, I think it will bring bad impression, because there are few countries they actually legalize gay marriage, lesbian marriage and stuff. And when we don't, so when we do implement violence, I think it's just going to be like, oh, I'm not going to go to this country. Like for a great example, like India now, people are really scared to go to the country. So second, I think it will cause an uproar in the country where people say that this is inhumane, and so which is happening right now also because of the discrimination. And then third, it can cause suicidal and depression of the LGBT people itself, because instead of being accepted, they're being tarnished, and then once they're being tarnished and the family members not being there for them, it's just going to bring the whole thing upside down and just cause them to depression and all this stuff. So I think, right, yes, it's hard for the Islams to accept them, but instead of doing anything, they should not harm them, right? So as we can accept the technology advancement, like from Nokia 3310 to iPhone 11, right? So why can't we just, I mean, yes, it's hard to accept, but can we just like leave them alone instead of doing anything?
Instead of bashing them. In a brief conclusion, I think the situation in Southeast Asia, especially in Malaysia, is they are making a slow progression. It's better than no progression at all. But then, while Malaysia might progress at a slightly slower pace, because we got different political landscape, and we are a strong religion-based country. So there are still a lot of obstacles and challenges to be faced and to be solved in order for our community to accept the country.
Yes, very true. It was a very good discussion actually today.
So that's all for today.
Yes.